Hey guys, it's Ishita once again from Language Academy. Today we're going to discuss the marking and the task Read Aloud. It is one task that we tend to ignore a lot, and it does impact our reading as well as our speaking section a lot. Now, in this task, what you need to do is you're going to have a paragraph generally ranging between 3 to 5 sentences in front of you. You have around 35 to 40 seconds of preparation time. After the preparation time finishes, you will hear a beep sound, which is your cue to start speaking. All you need to do for this task is you need to read the paragraph exactly as you see it, right? You get around 6 to 8 of these in your examinations. And how you mark for this section is you're marked out of 5 for your fluency. I'm going to discuss with you how the fluency is marked. 5 for your pronunciation and 5 marks for your content as well. This is the mark distribution per question for your Read Aloud, right? Now your fluency and your pronunciation go towards your speaking section, and your 5 marks for content is going 100% towards your reading section. This is a very, very important question for your reading. If you are marginally missing your score in reading and you believe that your blanks are good enough, your reorder paragraphs are good enough, Read Aloud can be the reason why you're missing on your reading score. Right? Now let's have a look at how you're marked in terms of your fluency, right? So number 1 is your hesitations. There should be no hesitations in your voice. What hesitation means is words such as any unnatural pauses. What an unnatural pause is when you pause to think of something. If you're taking a pause at a full stop or a comma, that is acceptable. You are not going to be marked down for that. But if you're pausing to think of something, you're going to directly impact your speaking score, right? Now, any repetitions are harshly penalized. So if you ever go back and you correct yourself, if you ever correct your mistake, if you ever mispronounced a word and you go back and you correct yourself, that is going to be harshly penalized, right? So what we recommend is if you've ever made a mistake, just carry on speaking. Do not ever correct yourself. Right? Now, in your speaking, there is something called a 3-second rule. What that means is if you start speaking after 3 seconds of the recording or after 3 seconds of the beep sound, what's going to happen is you're not going to be marked for that particular question. So for that particular question, you're going to be given a straight 0. Right? So please keep this rule in mind. We tend to ignore it a lot. Right? Now, speaking at your natural pace is absolutely fine. Do not try to speak too fast or too slow. In terms of your pronunciation, how you're marked is you need to speak loudly and clearly. Loudly, why? Because your speaking section, you're going to be sitting with around 10 to 12 students, and everyone is going to be speaking all together. Right? So it's a very, very distracting section. If you speak softly, you're not going to be heard by the computer. The background noise is going to be much louder than your own voice, right? So you do need to speak a bit louder than your usual voice. Clearly, why? Because it's a computer checking your work, not a person, right? So the computer is not going to be there and try to understand your work. It's straight away going to mark you down. Now, in terms of your content, how you're marked is based on 3 things. Number 1, you should not be adding any words. We will go through an example as well. Right? So you should not be adding any words. Number 2 is you should not be deleting any words, or you should not be omitting any words. And the third one is you should not be changing the sequence of any words. Right? Now, if we go through an example, if you have a look here, the example is once you've picked a general topic for your paper, you need to come up with a thesis. It's the main and focal point of your papers. Now, some things that you need to keep in mind is your contractions. Now, a very common mistake here is instead of you've, we say the words you have. This is going to directly impact your reading score. So what you need to do is whenever you see a contraction, I have another example here. What you need to do is you need to say it exactly as you see it. So if you see this as isn't, you cannot say is not. You need to say it exactly as you see it. So if you see a contraction, you need to say it as a contraction, right? Another thing which we ignore a lot is our articles and our prepositions. So anything like a and the, is, was, right? If you ignore that, again, it is impacting your reading score. And the third thing that we miss a lot is our plurals and our tenses. So if instead of papers, if I say paper, again, it is impacting my reading score. If I see, let's say, if I see the word needs, if I say need, again, it is impacting my reading score. If I see reading, if I say read, again, it is impacting on my reading score, right? So please keep these things in mind. It is very, very important towards this particular task. So you have around 35 to 40 seconds of preparation time. In this time, what you need to do is go through the paragraph at least once. Please make it a habit to read it out loud. Do not whisper, do not read it in your mind, because chances are you are going to miss these small things, right? As soon as you hear the beep sound, it's your cue to start speaking. Make sure that you start reading from the first word. You can take a slight half a second pause at your commas, at your full stop. That's for your breath, right? We don't want you to run out of your breath, obviously, right? As soon as you've said your last word, which here is papers, make sure you hit the next button. Please do not keep sitting there for the remaining time. What that means is if you have 40 seconds to speak, and if you finish speaking in 20 seconds, please click on next immediately. Do not keep sitting there for the remaining 20 seconds, right? So these are few of the important things that you need to keep in mind for your read aloud. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. We will get back to you. If you have any preferences that you want us to cover, please leave that in the comment section as well, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.